Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be, should I pursue or back off and wait? So I've got a little bit of a Jerry Springer-ish type of scenario going on here. So the guy that wrote the email started having an affair with a female coworker of his who also was having an affair with the boss, who happens to be one of his friends. And so apparently she's no longer seeing the boss, his friend, but when the last few times they've gotten together, she's like, well, we shouldn't do this, it's wrong, but it feels so right. And so she's backing off, and she's kind of vacillating. And he's not sure what to do, if he should pursue her, if he should back off and wait, or what to do. Because he's obviously still learning how to apply what's in 3% Man. So I got a quote that I wrote, and then we'll go through the email. Because this email brings up some really good things about women and some of the things that they say and how they go about bluffing to test a man's strength and his interest and his intent here. So the quote says, women bluff to test a man's strength and his intent. This includes suggesting or intimating that they are not interested or as interested in romance as they were before, just to see how a guy responds when they are uncertain of his interest. A man should respond with certainty and congruence of his romantic interest and never suggest that they are okay with time apart, taking a break, or breaking up. If a man responds with uncertainty of his interest or intentions, she will become more unsure, back away, and test even more, which leads to unnecessary breakups. So it's important to answer these questions properly, whether you're in a relationship or, in this particular case, when you're casually dating and hooking up with a woman. So he says, hi, Coach. First off, God bless you for being such a great help. I'm reading the book as I write. I'm 27, athletic, working 2 full-time jobs, and a side business on weekends. In January 2021, I met this girl when she started working at the company I work. She's 18, gorgeous, very ambitious like me, works 2 full-time jobs like me, and is a part-time actress. She's a total package, an 11 out of 10 on a scale of 1 to 10. It took us a month to meet due to working at different offices, and apparently by that time she had started dating the boss, who's kind of a friend of mine. That sounds interesting. But we clicked the first time we met, and she would call me every day, including weekends, to hang out, doing 100% of the calling. She broke it off after 8 months due to him being a total cold fish and apparently a little jealous of me. Talk about risking everything, risking your job. Both guys dating the same girl and a friend, a kind of a friend, he says. 2 months after, we were out drinking, and a kiss happened as she was laying her head on my shoulder. So I guess she was dating this other guy, her boss, his kind of friend, for about 8 months, and it sounds like he started getting jealous of this guy, which is not attractive. So 2 months later, they're out drinking. Kiss happened as she was laying her head on my shoulder. And so that's what women do when they like you. They get close to you. They bump into you. They literally physically touch you or bump into you. It's their signal that, hey, touching, please touch me. It's okay to touch me. She became sentimental, saying that she was hurt, but as we went to my car, we made out again. Then she said, this is wrong. I don't want to be your friend with benefits. So she says something like that. Because as a man, your purpose, your mission, what you want, you got to be direct and you got to be decisive. And so if she says, I don't want to be your friends with benefits, instead of taking that and going, oh my God, use playful humor. It was like, well, what would you like? A girly friend with benefits? What are you thinking? Ask questions. Whenever you're confused when a woman says something, it's always good to ask the question, what do you mean? Where are you coming from? Remember, women tend to take the little things, they go, oh my God, it's the end of the world. And as a man, you're supposed to go, oh, babe, look, it's no big deal at all, metaphorically speaking. He says, that same week, I drove her home late after work, and we hooked up. She then said to me, this is so wrong, but it feels so right. The important thing, it feels right. Because it is naughty. I mean, at the end of the day, she was sleeping with the boss, then she broke it off with him, and now she's sleeping with the boss's friend, who he's obviously a little jealous about. And so on some level, it's kind of dangerous, because both of them are, in essence, are risking their jobs. But what's done is done. I wouldn't recommend dipping the pen in company ink, but things happen. Chemistry happens. You get attractive single people working together, stuff happens. So, I mean, we're already down the road here, so it's like, what do you do now that things are already happened between the two of them? He says, after 2 weeks and several hookups, she was sitting next to me one day, looking at me with puppy eyes, and said to me, we need to talk, you know. To which I responded, there's nothing we need to talk, jokingly. So if she says, we need to talk, he's like, babe, what do you want to talk about? Answer a question with a question. Because whoever's asking questions in any conversation is the one leading the conversation. And as a man, you should be the leader. You should be leading it to where you want it to go. And especially when it comes to women, you don't make assumptions that you know what she's saying, because 9 times out of 10, the guy is going to assume wrong. I saw she got hurt, a mistake I know, but we kept on hooking up late nights, and then the only time she would bring up the talk was when she was a little drunk. Otherwise, she would never mention it. It's been 5 weeks now, and her level of interest seems to be dropping. Well, the important thing to remember is in the beginning, she was doing 100% of the pursuing. So she was driving the interest. She was pursuing him. And a lot of guys in this situation make the mistake of trying, especially when their emotions get involved and they really start catching feelings for the girl, they start trying to speed things up. They want to spend more time together. They call and they text more, and then it goes from her doing all the pursuing to her continuing to slowly back off. And this usually happens over several weeks and months, and the guy doesn't realize it. And then 2 months later, he's doing 95% of the pursuing, and she's barely doing 5% of it, and yet never seems to be available to get together. So when a woman starts out doing 100% of pursuing, you let her continue to do that, because then you go at her pace. You don't have to worry about going too fast or going too slow, because she's driving it. Your job as a man is just simply to create the next opportunity for sex to happen, to hang out, have fun, and hook up. I know she's sometimes conflicted between me and her ex, the boss who never gave her any attention, and I tried to give her space. So if she's getting conflicted about that, it's more than likely what's happened is this guy has started pursuing. It went from her doing 100% of the pursuing to now he's doing a percentage of it. And if she's vacillating back and forth between him and potentially going back to the boss, then that means he's definitely pursuing too much. Within these 5 weeks, she went from we got to talk and being lovely back to one night not kissing me, saying this is wrong, like in the beginning. So again, what's happening is she's backing off saying this is wrong. It's like, babe, it may be wrong, but you know it feels so right. So in other words, you want to encourage to keep things going, because if she says this is wrong, we shouldn't do it, you're like, you're right, we shouldn't do it at all. I wouldn't say that. I would say, just like, use her words. This is wrong, but it feels so right. And so if she says this is wrong, it's like, yeah, we've been over this, babe, but you know what? It feels so right. And then kiss her in that moment. Because she's expressing doubt. It's the, oh my God. And you're like, babe, but this is so right. And then you shrink it back down. You're unperturbed. You're undeterred. A lot of guys get, when they hear things like this, they get fearful. And they go, oh my God, what's wrong? Let's solve this. As opposed to just shrugging it off. And because in other words, she's expressing a moment of doubt. And as a man, you have no doubt. This is meant to be. Well, obviously you chose the better guy. You chose me over our friend, our boss. I said, I won't force you to do anything if you don't feel it. So that statement there, I would not have said that, because that expresses doubt about yourself. Your attitude should be, I won't force you to do anything, babe, but I mean, obviously you chose the better dude because you're with me. And I can't blame you. If it was me, I'd choose me too. You want to express certainty that you know what you want. And obviously in this case, you want her. And you're certain that you want her. Because she's expressing doubt. But if you've become full of doubt and uncertainty of she'll choose you over the other guy, then she becomes uncertain because you're uncertain. She said, well, I wouldn't hang out with you at 3 a.m. if I didn't feel it, but this is wrong, you know. You know it. Referring to me being friends with the boss. It was like, maybe, but you know what? When we kiss, it makes it all better. Waking up with you naked in my arms, I don't think about those things because it's worth the risk. I proceeded to try to open her up as she was feeling down, and 5 minutes later she started kissing me aggressively, telling me how similar we are as people, and it's scary how fast I am able to turn her on. Well, as the book says, when a woman feels heard and understood, the legs open. And when she doesn't, the legs close. So you opened her up, she feel heard and understood. You were the man, you were the rock, you were the mountain. You turned her on. You acted like a man. That's why she got turned on. Every time she's a little tipsy, she's lovely and tells me words like, I think you might be the one. And you're like, babe, of course I'm the one. I'm the sexiest man alive. Or, there was a spark since I first saw you. And so whenever she expresses doubts or throws that in there, if she's feeling unsure of herself, it was like, well, just like you said, there were sparks when we first met. And you already said I'm the one, so you can't take that back. I got it on video. I got it on audio. I recorded that when you weren't paying attention. But otherwise, she has this tough exterior and doesn't show affection. Her emotions fluctuate a lot. A woman whose emotions fluctuate a lot? You mean like Mother Nature? That's normal. That's the way they are. You're supposed to be the certain one. Your emotions don't fluctuate. Your emotions are always, babe, I love you. I want you. You're being silly. Am I being a cold fish a little to which she's sensitive? No, what's happening is you're displaying that you're unsure of yourself at times. And so that's what's really causing the problem here. You maybe, and probably the pursuing. Because if she started out doing 100% of the pursuing, there was really no reason for you to start any of it. Then that way you just let her come to you at her pace. And how do I pursue without being needy and driving her away now that she never calls? Well, if she stopped calling you, it's because you obviously started pursuing her. And look at this question. How do I pursue? So it went from her doing 100% of the pursuing, and now he says she's not calling at all. So it almost sounds like he's chasing her right out of his life, potentially back into the life of the boss. And at the same time, give her time to miss me when we're all day together in the office. Well, when you see her in the office, smile, wave to her, go about your business, wink at her every now and then if you make eye contact. But let her come over to you. Because at work, it's you want to be like James Bond. You want to hide your love affair. You want to not acknowledge your love affair. That's the best way to be. Let them wonder. Because it's none of their business anyways. It's between you and her. And it's your secret with her. Even if she tells somebody, and they go, and then that somebody comes up, oh, I heard you guys were dating. I was like, we are? Who told you that? I was like, huh. Can't confirm or deny any of these rumors. I think you've been reading the National Enquirer. Just deny. Be playful about it. Let people wonder. It's always better that way. Women love guys that are mysterious anyways. So if she stopped calling you, then you need to stop all pursuit, and you should immerse yourself in 3% Man, because this girl really was digging you. And it's, the fact that you're in the mindset of how do I pursue her tells me that the power's flipped. It went from her pursuing you and it being all her idea to now you're doing all the pursuing and it's your idea. And therefore that's why she's confusing. That's why I would let her be. Then when you hear from her, as soon as she wants to see you, make a date. When you're with her and if she expresses doubts or, oh, I'm not sure if this is right, or the chemistry's not there anymore, you always want to respond back with certainty. Oh, the chemistry's not there? It's like, it'll be back. It'll come back. You watch. I'm too handsome of a guy to walk away from. You got to have that kind of an attitude that I know you like me. I know you want me. In other words, you're just totally perturbed. In other words, you're interested in you and her together. And any other talk of that has anything to not do with the two of you being together, you're just simply not interested in it. You have a one-track mind. You and me, babe. That's all I'm interested in. And we're good. No matter what, we're good. Or you'll be back. That's the attitude that you want to have. Because that expresses certainty about how you feel about yourself and how you feel about her. And that's what she needs from you. Because if you're certain, then she'll feel certain. But as soon as you express indecisiveness or you pursue, the only reason guys over pursue is because they doubt themselves. And so that's why if you've been pursuing, and if she's not calling at all, that means you've pursued to the point where she's stopped all forward moving. And that's why you should stop moving forward and just wait to hear from her. It might be a week or two before it goes by and you hear from her again. But you're going to have to get back to the basics and follow what's in the book. Think about how things were in the very beginning when she was doing 100% of the pursuing. That's what you want to maintain. There was no reason for you to start chasing her because it sounds like she's gone cold on you now. So I would hang back and wait to hear from her. When you do, make a date. Be certain about it. If she expresses doubts about the two of you, you come back with certainty that you know it's meant to be. And it's okay if she has those doubts, but you don't have any doubts because you're a man. It's the way it's supposed to be. So if you'd like to get my help, go to understandingrelationships.com, click the products tab at the top of your screen, and book a coaching session with yours truly. Until next time, I will talk to you soon.